This is the Truth in MMA. I'm Dan from Oregon.
UFC record 21 takedowns.
What's up with you sickos? Happy Tuesday. See if we can get some housekeeping done in here. Make sure our chat is completely set up, ready to go. Meantime,
Momentum has a win over the lightweight champion, Javier Dos Anjos.
why don't we start off with this preview for Mark Hunt. This is a highlight. We got him coming up this weekend. Why don't we get excited for this fight a little bit? What do you guys say? Habib, go away for a minute. All right. You guys ready to react to this? Let's do this shit.
What does that mean? I think that means that Brock Lesnar is back. Is that real? That's real. That's as real as it gets.
I'm just finding this out.
It doesn't matter.
I'm upset. Who's he fighting?
I don't know.
Now introducing his opponent. Fighting out in the red corner, a striker.
Fuck the Brock Lesnar part. We're just worried about Mark Hunt here, folks. Mark Hunt versus Curtis Blades. About to get psyched for UFC 221. We got this as the co-main event, folks. What's up, Caden?
Mark Hunt is the king of the walkway KO.
So, Caden, we're gonna be talking MMA, but right now, just getting hyped for the fight.
He knew when he landed down, he just walked away.
I mean, the man is 42 years old. I mean, do you think that's going to affect any of this at all, or?
That's just a number to me. Samoan guys, man, they have thicker bones, thicker skulls, thicker everything, you know, they're more durable.
Tell him, Bass.
They're durable people, you know.
Tell him, boss.
I don't see his explosiveness and the power. Well, the power, they always say, is the last thing that goes, you know, but even his explosiveness is still there.
Oh my God.
He just walks up.
Fighter companion.
Every time he walks up, man.
Amen. What up, Dark? Would you rather have Mark Hunt give you a stink face or Ricochet? Who's Ricochet, man? I should know this, huh? I'm gonna have to do some research.
My game plan is always the same. Game plan is always pretty simple, you know. I just need to knock your face off. That's it. It just keeps it simple. And all I gotta do is put this in your face, and that's it. You're gone.
Because he just knocks dudes out.
Yeah, it's not like he's jabbing you exactly.
No, he knocks
What are we to make of
And then just
UFC
walked away.
222?
He just knew, huh? He just knew that.
We got more Nate Diaz news to talk about. I got a tweet of the day for you folks. We might as well get to that right away. Tweet of the day is almost kind of a co-tweet. And you'll see what I mean by that. If we come over here, check this out. We got an announcement from Fox Sports PR. Veteran MMA broadcaster Jimmy Smith makes his octagon side debut with John Anik. UFC 221 Romero versus Rockhold in Perth. And then chimes in Cutman Matt. Cutman Matt says, "Boo this man." Throws in the clip of Dave Chappelle And here comes Jimmy Smith with "You Jelly" with the owl. And I give Jimmy Smith the tweet of the day. I like the take that he's using, the angle he's going after the fans with. He's not here for our hearts, at least not on Twitter. All right, per request, we're going to do this. What Darth asks for, Darth gets. Oh, shit. Sit on the face or stink face? Oh, man. That's a good question. That's a good question. Mark Hunt or Rashiki is going to give you one of these. What do you guys pick? Oh, where did that photo go? I click on it, it goes away. Effing Google. Here we go. Alright. Darth, you remember this shit. What up, Mike? Shout out, Mike. Man, okay, so Darth brought this shit up. Who did you rather have, Mark Hunt or Rashiki, stink face you? And this is what he's referring to right here. Who remembers the atomic butt drop, though? That Mark Hunt did back in Pride? That might have been like his first fight versus Wanderlei or some shit. And then I think it was a Randy Couture was on the call and called it the atomic butt drop. I believe that's how it all went down. Darth, correct me if I'm wrong here, man. He would fuck us all up. Yeah, man. Look at that. That don't look fun. That don't look fun. Well, thanks, Darth, for the nice little tangent there. Shit. All right. Well, besides that, man, we got some numbers in from Machida versus Anders. Machida versus Anders draws 839,000 viewers on FS1. And man, there wasn't a lot of talk about this card at all. There was talk about Bullet Shevchenko. I tried getting some hype behind the fact that Capoeira was a crackhead, but that crackhead took a beatdown. There was hype about Machida versus Anders a little bit too. That was it, though. So I am not surprised on these numbers whatsoever here. What did they give us? Prelims on FS2 drew in 361,000. That's probably pretty good numbers for them, actually. For FS2. They don't ever have shit on that. Overall, the card was an improvement over Machida's last headlining gig, which drew just 588,000. His knockout over Brunson and Sao Paulo. Wow. All right. So that's a big increase since then. I would have to see the side-by-side, though, to figure out what time of year that really was to do a full comparison. But definitely big improvement there. I wonder if they were going head-to-head with Bellator last time or what was the case, because this time they were like completely alone. Okay, so that's some news we got in. And then I read earlier that Michael Bisping was on the Believe You Me podcast with Louis J. Gomez on the Gas Digital Network, and he said that as far as his retirement fight goes, he's looking at Machida calling him out, and it checks all the boxes as far as what he's looking at. Michael Anzalone says, shout out to everybody. And Darth Bane says, haha, yeah, that was epic. For real. I'll keep up with the messages better so I know what the hell you're actually talking about, Darth. Man. Anyhow. So, Bisping versus Lyoto. Do you guys want to see that? Because what I see with Endeavor lately, I don't think they're going to do this shit. Who knows? Because Bisping is worth something. And he's been a real good guy to them. Who knows what they'll do. But what I see is them booking the legends against the young bucks. That's the way of Endeavor. That's what I see going on. Beyond that, though, man, the biggest news is probably got to deal with UFC 222. And here, TJ Dillashaw is not going to give Cody an automatic rematch on 1 month's notice. And I don't blame the guy whatsoever. I don't think they're offering him enough money, for one, to come in on short notice to do something like that. Ali Abdelaziz can say, oh, if that was my guy, I would get him paid all he wants. But, man, all right, so Caden is all for Machida versus Bisping. He's down for that. Man, the only other fight I was thinking of for Bisping was Nick Diaz. I'm a Diaz homer, but I always loved that fight. I thought that would be kind of interesting. So we got UFC 222 news. Holloway's injured. They're looking for a new main event. And the way that the media or the UFC or whoever's explaining it, I don't know why the hell they're talking this way, but they say there has to be a championship on the line, a title on the line for this to be a pay-per-view. That makes no sense, man. You could throw Diaz in any fight, and that's a pay-per-view right there. Brock Lesnar ain't going to be fighting for the title if he comes back. That's pay-per-view. GSP versus anybody, even though he vacated the belt, that's pay-per-view. I mean, these guys don't make much sense when they talk this way. I get their thinking. They wanted Cyborg. She wanted to do it. They wanted TJ to come in, rip away his DJ fight, not give him the payday, take on Cody. They're fucking the guy who was it? They were dick riding Cody, weren't they? Because he was all undefeated and shit. Mike Hansel and Dan, when I saw those two Diaz-Connor fights, I thought it was the best. That Shevchenko fight, though, made me feel really bad for her opponent. I think it was the blood. I don't understand why it was a fight. Maybe because it was a mismatch. Well, yeah, I mean, you watch a lot of guys' fights with a lot of blood, and it doesn't make you feel the same way that the girls' fights do. I did not feel this way with this card. I also fell asleep, so I saw the outrage first. I like to be a contrarian, so maybe that's got to do with all the bullshit. But yeah, she took an ass whooping. She was bloody real quick in that first round. And what is it got to do? I don't know, man. I think the media chooses to get outraged about certain shit, and then we all freak the fuck out. That kind of has to do with it a little bit. Maybe that's just me calling it that way. But I mean, when you watch BJ Penn lick the blood off his hand, how do you feel about that? Dart says, Mike, she was having a head period. I don't trust anything that bleeds for 5 days and doesn't die. It's normal for women to bleed. Thanks, Dart. Yeah, that's why we keep them around. Those good nuggets of information. Okay, so beyond here, we got, might as well get the tweets going. Look up Ariel. See the news he posted today regarding all the nonsense with UFC 222. So his word is Ortega versus Frank Lee was pretty much signed, sealed, and delivered. What was not signed, sealed, and delivered is if it's going to be on pay-per-view or if they're going to demote this to a fight night. And does everyone remember the last time that happened? All right, let's not jump around too much. Okay, so Edgar versus Ortega is all but done. But the question now is whether it's a main event or not. Everyone fucking follows this guy. I don't need to reread all this shit. Doesn't appear as though Dillashaw Garbrandt will happen. We knew that. Cyborg versus Kuntakaya was a possibility. Diaz Bros was apparently a possibility. Then Dana shot that down. 8 hours ago, and then no breaking news since then, as far as what I saw. Henry Cejudo is calling out Tim Elliott, by the way. if we don't get to that completely. Okay, so the last time this happened, man, it was about 27 events ago that the UFC canceled a card. It was UFC 196. Kane versus Werdum was the headliner. Hendricks versus Thompson was the co-headliner. Kane gets injured. He pulls out. Stipe's in. Stipe's a go. No worries. We got this. Werdum's hurt. Werdum says, no, he was ready for Kane. He ain't ready for... So this is the Kane rematch. He was ready for the Kane rematch. He ain't ready for Stipe in Vegas or some shit. And so they cancel that pay-per-view. And we end up with... Here we go. A fight night on FS1. Hendricks versus Thompson. And if I can remember correctly, on Tapology, this does great ratings. They were just comparing it to a previous card. And it was not a pay-per-view. Wouldn't have done great numbers at all. Pulled in like over 1 million people. Here we go. Let's get the real figure. 1.3 average, 1.47 peak. So that is a massive improvement in my eyes. Now, if you're UFC, you could do some shit pay-per-view, do hardly any, and not really take a bump here because FS1 ain't going to pay you shit. At least I wouldn't if I were you guys in this situation. But you got to think long-term here. You got to take the short-term loss for the long-term gain. You're going to build up these guys. Mackenzie Dern is going to be way bigger. Sean O'Malley is going to be way bigger if we make this on FS1, not a pay-per-view that hardly anyone buys. That's my take on it, because look at this. Thompson, Hendricks, Nelson, Rochal, OSP, Cavalcante, Benavidez, Makovsky, Serkinov, Nicholson. I mean, yeah, that went downhill real quick. You could see why that was not a pay-per-view. The UFC has not learned their lesson since this, though. They managed to squeak their way through like 26 pay-per-views, but boom, we're coming to a crushing halt on 222. Does that mean 223 is going to become 222? And now it's going to mess up the whole count on all that shit? What do you guys think? What are you thinking with this? Let's move on with the topics. How come Cody... Now, all right, real quick, before we go completely on. How come Cody only wanted Edgar after TJ was done? Where's Rivera? Where's Marlon Moraes as far as that goes? I don't get that shit. Because Edgar... This is Ali Del Abziz double dipping. If you want my fucking best guess on what's going on, he manages both of them. He's trying to get main card slot, pay-per-view, whatever the hell bonus those fools get on that shit, because he's slick like that. That's Ali Del Abziz for you, man. They still listing Holloway as headlining this card. The hell's going on here, man? Whoa. 9 fights. What a pay-per-view for you, folks. Zingano versus Vieira. That's a great fight. See, so we're going to have an FS1. Who's your headliner? Zingano Vieira? That's who I would go with. Zingano Vieira is your new headliner, your FS1 headliner. Unless Edgar and Ortega gets made. Then this is your co-main. Or put the heavyweights as the co-main. These girls